You know that feeling when the smell of something baking just makes everything feel safe? Like it's a shield against the rest of the world? Well, today we're diving into a story where that exact feeling, that warm, amazing scent of cookies, goes head to head with the cold, official voice of a wartime radio. It's all about that clash, right? The world we can control versus the one we absolutely can't.
And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got everything warm and comforting and real. Stuff you can smell and taste, like fresh Hermit bars. And on the other side, all that creeping anxiety of war. It's impersonal, it's scary, and it's all coming from that one little glowing radio. The whole story really just lives in that space right between those two columns.
All right, so first up, let's talk about those comforts of home, because this is really all about how the characters try to build like a fortress of normalcy. They're using these simple, everyday things as the bricks and mortar to keep the big, scary world out.
And what's so cool here is that comfort isn't just some abstract idea, It's something you can feel, something you can taste. The narrator actually calls the smell of the molasses and spice from the Hermit bars immediate and intoxicating, warm, familiar, and almost holy. I mean, wow. It's this powerful, tangible shield, something you can literally smell, that's pushing back against this invisible fear you can only hear on the radio.
And it's not just about the cookies either. I mean, look at this list. Every single thing here is like an anchor holding them to a world that's predictable and safe. A scout meeting you know is going to happen. A brand new chemistry set. Heck, even a family dinner of liver and onions. It's all about routine. It's about a world that, for a little while at least, still makes sense.
But of course, no fortress is perfect, right? The war isn't just happening on some faraway battlefield. No, it's more like this constant, low-level hum in the background of their lives, and it is always threatening to seep right through the cracks.
So the threat isn't always loud and obvious. A lot of the time, it's just in the air. It's that official voice crackling over the radio announcing a surprise blackout test. Or it's seeing a neighbor, Mrs. Eichenbraut, and noticing her eyes are all tired and red-rimmed. See, the danger isn't just about bombs and soldiers. It's that quiet, constant stress that just wears you down from the inside out.
And then you get this line from Wayne. And wow, it is so important. He whispers to his friend, "My mom says we aren't supposed to talk about it. She says it just makes it real." And boom, that tells you everything. It reveals this fundamental, unspoken rule of their world: you do not name the fear. It's like they all believe that if you say it out loud, you give it power, you make it too real to handle. So instead, they just live with this heavy, silent thing in every single room.
And this is where the war really truly seeps in. And honestly, it's kind of chilling. Leo's little brother, Timmy, he's just playing with his toy soldiers. But as you can see from this table, it's not just a game. He's literally reenacting real-world events he hears on the news, like the German surrender in North Africa. He calls his toy planes the Army Air Corps, which is the exact same branch his own dad is serving in. The war has literally become the script for his playtime.
So you've got all this massive, uncontrollable anxiety swirling around. So what do the boys do? Right? They can't fight the actual war, but they can create a fight of their own, on their own terms. And their weapon of choice? A brand new chemistry set.
Okay, I love this slide because it shows the shift in the most basic way possible, through smell. Think about it. They go from the passive comfort of molasses and spice, a smell that was made for them, to the sharp, pungent smell of sulfur. This is a smell they are creating. It is literally the smell of them taking action.
And that's what this whole prank, making a stink bomb, is really all about. It's so much more than just kids being mischievous. We're calling it a small, controlled chaos. I mean, they can't control the war, not at all, but they can absolutely control the outcome of this little experiment. For once, they get to be the cause, not just the effect.
And you have to understand, the reason for all this chaos, it comes from a place of real, deep fear. Wayne says this while they're mixing the chemicals, and he's talking about his older brother Harris, who actually chose to enlist. He just can't get his head around it. Why would anyone willingly walk towards bombs and guns? That confusion, that feeling of being totally powerless, is what's fueling his need to create a danger he can understand and control.
And this really gets us to the heart of the whole story. It's about how this seemingly silly prank becomes this profound act of survival. It's like they're drawing a circle around themselves and their friendship and just declaring, this part is ours, the war doesn't get this part.
And Wayne just spells it out perfectly with this quote. This is basically his mission statement. He says, "This is our dumb thing then. our thing. Not the war, not the draft, not some big stupid thing we can't stop. Just us. He is deliberately separating their small, manageable act of rebellion from that big, stupid thing they can't do anything about. The stink bomb becomes a symbol of their friendship, their choice, and their power in a world that's trying to strip it all away.
So what we're really getting from this story is kind of like a simple 3-step guide to taking back a little bit of control. You can see it right here. Step 1, you have to acknowledge the big, overwhelming force you can't fight. In this case, the war. Step 2, you find a small, personal space where you do have power, like a chemistry set. And step 3, you use that space to create your very own narrative, your own story, like a prank. It's actually a pretty powerful strategy for staying sane when the world feels like it's going crazy.
And yeah, this really just sums it all up, doesn't it? When you're faced with these huge, frightening things that feel completely out of your hands, it's the small, personal acts of creation, or even defiance, that become so incredibly important. That's how we remind ourselves that we're still the ones driving, you know? That we're still agents in our own lives.
So I'll leave you with this thought. The story is really asking us to think about how we cope. In a world that's full of big, scary, uncontrollable things, what's your thing? What's the thing that brings you comfort? What's your hermit bar? And maybe even more important, what's that small, controlled chaos you create to feel like you're still in the driver's seat? What's your stink bomb?